May profits be upon you. I hope you're enjoying your weekend. Hope you had a great week of trading last week, and I'm looking forward to a positive outcome for the week ahead. What am I talking about? Anyway, listen, the open may be a little wonky. Let's be careful of that because of the holiday in the bank holiday that we had on Friday. All right, so the open may be a little wonky. It may go a little funky until the markets decide what trend it wants to take for the rest of the week. So be careful the first day of the open. I probably would highly recommend that you use caution on the open. Now, taking a look at the RT money meter real quick, we can see that the euro is very weak. And what's notable is that last week it was at 390. This week it's at minus 390. And this week it's at minus 480. All right, getting weaker. US dollar, opposite. 393 last week, 505. Top of the heap again. All right, but getting actually stronger. So trending in two opposite directions, right? All right, let's take a look at the daily. What do we want to notice? What's important? All right, what's important is structures being broken to the downside, making lower lows and lower highs, right? Even here, all right, we come down, we break structure to the downside. Oh, we did recover. We wicked past the high, but we didn't close past that high. All right, so it's still a lower low, and once it breaks that, that confirms it is a lower low, right? We broke structure, and what do we do here? Recovered, right? That is a complex pullback, all right, forming a bear flag. But with that design, you have to know that this is a weak low, and it's going to get ran for liquidity. How do you know it's a weak low? Because it didn't make a new high, came nowhere near it. So you know it's going to be a target for liquidity, and that's exactly what happened. So we are bearish on the daily. Easy to see, right? So let's go to the 4 hour. Oh, before we do that, we have to note, why did price stop here? Why did price break and stop here and reject? We have to go left, and we have to look and see, did it hit a demand zone? Yes, it did. This is, some people call this the hidden demand zones and stuff. No, I don't. This is wick demand, all right? And you can see it's relevant, it's valid because it broke this structural high here, right? And was respected on the pullback, all right? This is what you want to see. And this is where you would take, this is one of the indications, one of the check marks to say, hey, looks like we may be heading up. Anyway, you can see it was mitigated here and just missed here. Price made it higher. That the reason why it missed is because the reason why it missed here is because it's now in this zone of this wick zone of demand here, and we're going up anyway. So we understand this is a valid zone. We can see how price reacted once it got to this level of price, right? Went up and took out all these structural highs here. That's how we know it's a strong zone to consider, right? We had that reaction already, boom, reached up that high, but now here we go. We take that low, we take this low, breaking that structure there, boom, to the downside. You expect some kind of pullback, right? But look at all the momentum coming into this zone of demand, all right? A lot of bearish action, a lot of bearish pressure, all right? Quote unquote pressure. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. And on the 4 hour, we take a closer look at the price action. And we can see the machinations, right? So what am I looking at? We left this area here. This is a zone of liquidity that price could come back and get. This is what you want to see when you're looking at possible POIs, right? You see that there's an area to take liquidity on the way up, all right, into this zone. You see that there's an imbalance that was left behind at the zone. This lets you know how strong the zone is, all right, when it leaves that displacing impulse, all right. The displacement is the key, all right, to gauging the amount of strength, quote unquote strength, or the amount of supply in this zone, all right. Selling orders is what we're talking about. Plenty of them, plenty, all right. You can see how price acted from here, never came back up. So this is a POI. Does it mean that price is going to come up here before it goes down further? No, it doesn't. But the possibility is there. All right. What we want to do is concentrate on recognizing, we got to recognize that, look at this. Remember I just said about the displacing impulse? That left behind a lot. All right. But we need to take a very close look at this price action here. Okay. What do we see? We see that the structure has broken its own substructure. You understand? All right. As far relative to the overall higher time frame structure, this is substructure. Still, on the substructure, we've broken structure to the downside. All right. Have respected all these highs. All right. And here we are with a pullback. You got to recognize that this was a zone of demand. Why? Because I'm going to just draw this in. All right, because it broke that high. It broke that high. This was a zone of demand. We went up higher and then crashed through it. This becomes a violated zone of demand, which is what? It becomes a breaker. So we mark it. It becomes a breaker. So if price comes back up here, I'm looking for it to be a zone of supply, a bearish breaker. When price crashes through it like that, that's when you have to recognize that it just treated it as if it wasn't there, right? So when price comes back the opposite way, it turns into, it flips from a demand to supply zone. You understand? Okay, like support turns resistance in that way, if you want to relate it to retail, traditional retail thought. Okay. All right. Now I done lost my way. Oh, okay. All right. But this isn't the one. This is one we're going to mark, right? Ultimately, this whole zone is on my list, because not only does it contain a breaker, but it also contains an unmitigated, imbalanced zone of supply. I don't know what just happened there. Let me get rid of that. All right. So if price does come back up here, hey man, this is going to be one of the areas, a POI that I'm going to watch with great interest, because I expect price to, react bearishly. Okay. All right. But that's not my focus. My focus is on this zone. This was a valid zone of demand. Can you not see that? Why was it valid? Why was it valid? I need an answer. The reason why it was valid is because it broke structure to the upside. After a break of structure to the downside, it broke structure to the upside. This was a pullback, a valid pullback on this time frame. All right, making lower lows and lower highs. This was the pullback. It broke that pullback. All right, so it becomes valid. Did it sweep liquidity on the way up? Yes, it did take liquidity on the way up. All right, so you got that. That's what matters. Okay, now what does that mean? We got to go down and take a look on a lower time frame to see What happened here? Price flipped. And you know, I love my flip zones, right? Flip from supply to demand, from demand to supply. All right. Price flipped here, broke this this demand zone, crashed through it. When it comes through it like that, when it just steps through, you know that on the way back up, it becomes supply. So this is what I'm looking at right now. And what did price do? Price reacted. It hit its high point here. Excuse me. Come on, man. Don't embarrass me in front of company. All right. Hit the supply zone, hit its high there, and price respected it. All right. What am I expecting? What am I expecting at this point? I'm going down to the 1 minute. What am I expecting at this point? Not the 1 minute, the 1 hour. All right. What am I expecting? Doggone it. All right. If price comes back up, breaks this high, all right, this is the off chance. All right. This is not the highest probable scenario. All right. But what I'm looking at is if price does make it back up here, I'm looking at this area right, y'all. All right. Looking at this area as a probable place where price may reject from. All right. Because you can see the buying started to become pronounced up here. We broke through that zone. I'm looking at price coming up in here and then falling for sure. All right. We understand that already, but can it come past here? I like this. If we refine this zone to here, all right, price has a reason to come up into this zone, take liquidity, hit the refined zone up top where the wicks are. This is where I'll be looking first. This is where I will be looking first if price does want to journey back up. If there's a pullback, and I kind of expect some wonkiness again on the open, this is the scenario I would be looking for. All right. If it just comes down, hey, man, you know, it just comes down. I expect bearishness. The whole point of this is I expect bearishness because the overall higher time frame order flow is bearish. I believe this low is weak. All right. And I believe it's going to be taken. All right. Will we dip up first and then come down or come straight down? I don't know. All right. I don't like to play the open in this scenario until I see price has tipped its hand. You can see if it comes back up here, you can see on the 15, 5, and 1, whether we're going to round over and come down. All right. And again, for those that don't know my videos, what am I doing? All right. What I'd be looking for in this zone is this one, a higher high, a pullback, a higher high, a low that takes out that swing low, a pullback into this leg of structure where price comes down. I look for this here. I look for this here. I look for it here to go up, you know, just flipped up the other way. This is the key. This is the key. Okay. So that's what I'm looking for. I hope you benefit from this analysis. Be careful on the open. All right. Check out Lions Den FX. We're still until the end of April. It's free to join our Discord where you're getting signals by Drunken Monkey. You're getting setups and trade ideas from me and a lot of good traders in there who are sharing their trades. All right. You're getting the full Monty for the next couple of weeks until the end of April. Check it out. All right. I will see you in the next video.